Laker fans get a little overzealous in their love for Max Christie. The Dodgers select a quarterback in the MLB draft. You heard me. And USC benefits from a two-sport star getting passed over in the Major League Baseball draft. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. So it is July 12, 2023, glorious day, nice and warm, enjoy yourself in the summer sun. Meanwhile, we are building something for LA sports here, and if you like being in the know about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button, clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell, hit that, it'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring, let people know we exist, and comment. Try to get back with all of you guys. You should know that by now. Before we go through the news and notes, I'll look at the scoreboard. Yesterday, nothing. But today, finally, something to watch. St. Louis is at LAFC at 7:30 tonight. The Black and Gold have a three-match losing streak in MLS as they face one of the leaders in the Western Conference. Doesn't that sound a little weird? Maybe midfielder Jose Cifuentes is playing, but if he's not, it'll only add to the transfer speculation. We'll have to find out. Las Vegas is playing the Sparks at 7 o'clock. The Sparks put their 5-game losing streak on the line against the defending WNBA champions. Now, the Sparks, they do have a reason why they're falling apart. They were riddled with injuries. They practiced yesterday. They finally had 10 players to practice with for the first time in 3 weeks. Finally, they could go 5-on-5. There is an old joke from the great comic Dennis Miller. I was always a fan of the guy. And I forget what the setup was. But anyway, it was basically like if there was something that sounded impressive, but was really crap. He always compared it to like being named valedictorian at summer school. And I bring that up because Max Christie is getting MVP chants from Laker fans at Summer League out in Las Vegas. I love Laker fans. I am a Laker fan. I like going to Las Vegas. I would love to see the Lakers in Summer League. Christie's looking for a spot in the Lakers rotation, and Laker fans are trying to manifest that into existence by having him dominate. But I'm here to tell you, guys, tap the brakes. Who the hell wants to have MVP chants at Summer League? Summer League doesn't matter. Summer League is squat. Summer League is turnovers. Summer League isn't even as good as major college basketball because of the fact that these guys don't know how to play together. There's no team cohesion. It's basically watching 5-on-5 with really talented random people. So MVP? MVP of what? Right? And besides that, he only scored 11 points in the Lakers' last game against Charlotte's Scrubs. So the Summer League, the MVP of Summer League, even if there is an MVP, that's like winning an ESPY. You know, why would you want an ESPY on your mantle? Nobody remembers if you finish second. I remember that cliche. Nobody remembers if you're the MVP of Summer League. I have no idea if there is one. Feel free to Google it. I don't care. Anjay Kopitar thinks the Lady Bing Trophy looks more prestigious on his mantle than MVP of NBA Summer League. Tap the brakes, guys. He wants a job. He's not looking to be famous in Summer League. The chatter is, by the way, about the Lakers is still how they want to add a 14th player to the roster. General manager Rob Pelinka thinks he admitted he wants a center. And there are some people out there who are pushing for Bismack Biyombo. Others are pushing for Christian Wood. Then there are the numbskulls over at ESPN. Kendrick Perkins is hyping Dwight Howard for the job. You heard me. Dwight Howard. Quote, I know he's older, but it's always great to have an adult in the locker room and that's going to know his role in a guy like Dwight Howard. I feel like that would also be a perfect fit. Now, I want to congratulate Kendrick Perkins for brutalizing the English language that much. Just absolutely put the English language in a chokehold until the English language tapped out. Nobody in the history of humanity would have ever thought to have linked Dwight Howard and adult in the same sentence until Kendrick Perkins came along. Dwight Howard, the guy who auditioned for WWE last year, the guy with the known reputation for being a goofball. Ask the Van Gundy family how mature they think Dwight Howard is. Go ahead and ask. They say age ain't nothing but a number, but when you think of Dwight Howard, 37 years still doesn't necessarily make you an adult. Dwight Howard is not the answer, even at the furthest end of the bench for the Lakers. Stop it. The MLB draft wrapped up yesterday, and the Dodgers, they selected Oregon State quarterback DJ Uiagalelei with their 20th round pick, and it's fair to ask why. It is. Uiagalelei hasn't played organized baseball since high school, but I will tell you, as a pitcher, he did reach 93 miles an hour back then. The guy goes to Clemson before transferring over to Oregon State. Look, there's a chance. There's a chance he might wind up signing. Maybe not this year, but by the time the entire year that he's eligible to sign with the Dodgers elapses. Consider how deep the quarterback class is for next year's NFL draft. I've been reading these scouting previews for college football, primarily to get an idea of what to talk about when it comes to USC and UCLA. Lindy's Sports season preview ranks Uiagalelei as the 25th best quarterback prospect going into the season. 5th best in the Pac-12 at all. So I realize there's always a run on quarterbacks, but 25th? Yeah, he might want to consider signing that contract with the Dodgers by this time next year. Just saying. There was a USC football player who also anticipated his name getting called in the Major League Baseball draft, but Deuce Robinson, who is a freshman, rated as the top tight end in the country, he'll be on his way to Heritage Hall unencumbered by having to make a career decision. Actually, the idea of drafting him in baseball made sense. He was a two-sport star out at his high school in Arizona. Scouts for baseball, they look at Robinson and they liken his physique to Aaron Judge. He's 6'6", 225 pounds. Also, Robinson's father was drafted to play baseball out of Florida State, so there is a bit of a legacy there, in addition to the size, in addition to the talent in high school. The younger Robinson was taken as a draft, the younger Robinson was talking before the draft as if he too could be a dual sports threat like back in the 90s when there was Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders. Quote, "We're ready for everything, and hopefully I get drafted highly. And then the goal from there would be to play college football and hopefully be able to sign a professional baseball contract so I can play both that way." Keep in mind, the NCAA actually allows you to do that. They do. And Lincoln Riley probably wouldn't have much of a problem with it at all. He coached Kyler Murray in Oklahoma. Kyler Murray was drafted by the Oakland A's and eventually, of course, now plays quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, again, Robinson is also much bigger than Murray. So you could see it. You absolutely could. But the Trojans baseball program must be overjoyed. If you consider it, Robinson's scholarship came from the football program. So he could play football in the fall, play for the Trojans baseball team in the regular season, and USC still has that extra scholarship to offer another baseball player for next year. As for where Robinson stands in terms of baseball, he wasn't on any of the top 100 big boards that I saw prior to the MLB draft. There's a lot of drafting going on this time of year. MLB draft. Baseball America had him at 154. So it might be a little surprising that he wasn't drafted. But either way, welcome to USC, Mr. Robinson. The LA Galaxy acquired help on the back line. Tony Alfaro is a former MLS Cup winner. He comes over from NYCFC, the presumed replacement for the injured Martin Caceres. He also played in Mexico, the USL, the Seattle Sounders, but he's only played in 6 matches this year for New York City. So I don't know if he is a long-term solution. I don't know how many minutes he has in his legs. The 30-year-old played his college ball within walking distance of the Galaxy's home stadium. He went to Cal State Dominguez Hills. We've spoken repeatedly over the last couple of years about how the Bruins football team has relied heavily on the transfer portal, more so than high school recruiting. And I admit, if you're a UCLA fan, it's a little bit troubling because when you don't hear about your program in the high school recruiting rankings, you think you're having a terrible offseason. You know, the high school recruiting rankings always sounds more prestigious. If you rely on transfers, it kind of gives you that vibe like you're rooting through the secondhand bin or the bargain bin over at the Walmart. But here's the thing. UCLA is actually pretty good at finding diamonds in the bargain bin. UCLA, according to 24/7 Sports, they are ranked number 10 in the transfer portal rankings. They really like Chip Kelly landing Carson Steele from Ball State at running back and Colin Schlee from Kent State as a possible starting quarterback. So yeah, we've talked a lot about USC getting recruits out of high school. But UCLA has, they kind of have some talent ready-made coming in for next year. I accept that I've been on the anti-Austin Eckler bandwagon for a few months now, and it's nothing personal, it's just business. His demands for a new contract threaten the Bolts' intermediate future. Look, the Chargers need to pay Justin Herbert, and they're slated to be significantly over the cap next year. So Eckler asking for all this extra money isn't helpful on any level, and by the way, he doesn't necessarily deserve it. And you know who agrees with me? CBS. They compiled a list of some of the most overrated players for every AFC team. Now, to be honest, they were a lot more forgiving of Eckler than I have been. A lot more forgiving. They do think of him as a dual threat. So I don't deny that. But he thinks he should be paid commensurate with the elite backs in the NFL. He is not an elite back in the NFL. I will ride that horse until the hooves fall off. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me about Max Christie, the MVP of Summer League. Talk to me about the Dodgers draft, and for that matter, where USC looks right now in both football and baseball with Deuce Robinson. And if you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow, and I'll be back in Oklahoma. Either way, Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.